Okay, so CC needed some new tires, some new shoes, and I mean they're BF Goodrich's Long Trail that are on there right now, and those are okay if they weren't 20 years old. There's cracking through the tread, going, kind of snaking down the side, and I already had a problem with them. Actually, last night, as you can see here, and so I went ahead and I went on Marketplace, my magical place full of deals. Um, as you know, Marketplace is beautiful, beautiful place, dangerous place for people like me. However, what they had on there was four Goodyear. What are they? Goodyear Eagle Sport R18s on US mags. And when my tire fell off the wheel, I went on and I started looking and stuff. And these are like brand new. These are hardly used. They still have whiskers on some of the edges. And when I went on I think it was Jags, Les Schwab, and Summit Racing, I went on all three of those. And this was the style. This is exactly the style I was looking for. And to get those on like pretty cheap tires was going to be like $1,200 some odd dollars, probably closer to 15 after it was mounted and everything. So I went ahead and picked these guys up, and they are off of the dude that had them on a 78 Camaro, I want to say. And he just sold that car. So he saved the wheels and then decided to go a different route on his new car. So the wheel lugs on the lugs on a Camaro are 5 by 4.75, and those they're just barely off. Like the lugs, you can see all 5 lugs in the thing, so they're just barely off. So I went ahead and bought I ordered some spacers / adapters, so that will change the lug pattern from 5 by 5 to 5 by 4.75, and then I can throw those wheels on, and it will also space it out about an inch from normal. And then those will be on. I'll probably have to do some fender rolling, some trimming, take out the inner fenders probably. I did jack it up, take off the wheel, and just mock it up. It looks like it's going to rub in a few places. So we'll see. And then as far as the motor goes, I'm not sure. I haven't honed it yet. I have a honer right there. That guy, little spider guy. I'm not sure on it yet. I want to use it, but I've been doing a lot of research on 305s. And people say that they can actually make quite a bit of power if they're tuned right and have the right parts on them. So I kind of would like to just continue to build that motor in there, because I know that one runs. I believe it has blow-by, but, we'll see. I haven't actually figured that out yet. If it was blow-by or if it was just overall, I don't know. It could be a thing. But I'm going to do compression tests and do all that stuff on that, so maybe that will be in this video or the next. I don't know. And then after I decide on the motor on this guy, if I'm going to replace it or just build it out, I'm going to go ahead and repaint it, because I did this very haphazardly just to see if I liked the black on it, and I do. I know I could have looked at videos, but it's different when it's on the car versus off, or on the actual car, your car, compared to somebody else's who might have, a different stance or different headlights, whatever. I just couldn't find an exact replica. But anyways, so that's the plan so far. New wheels, figuring out the motor, and then paint job. And we shall see how all that goes. All Joshua boys making moves. I don't want to do I don't really want to use the 70s block all that much, and a coworker of mine just sold me An 880 block, the bed of a truck, and I still don't have a cherry picker, nor do I have a engine stand. And so we're planning on taking this apart on the truck, and then hopefully we're gonna move it from there to like right in that area. So
only we had about 8 days.
So even if this motor's kaput, at least I have parts. And hopefully this doesn't just turn into Junk's pickup motor every morning that I have off for under $100. Although that wouldn't be that bad of a series, I guess. But we're going to try to take this apart while it's in here, just so it's a little lighter. Because I don't have a cherry picker or an engine stand yet. And I guess you guys can meet my new slave. This is Cole.
I'm a slave.
He's a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also his truck, not my truck. I want the truck. I can't have the truck. I'm getting a different truck. So anyways, we're gonna start taking this apart. We'll probably film a little bit of that and put it in. So, you know. We're actually gonna do this correctly because it's not rusted and trashed like the other one. So I got a paint marker. A number on each one of these valves, and then a number corresponding with that, of course, right there on each single one. And then I will put that valve in a container with the number so that when I put it back together, it all goes back the same exact way that it came apart. Hopefully that all works out, and we'll keep you updated along the way. I don't know where Cole went, so I'm on my own.
See? All your fault. Why would you do this to us?
I noticed. We may have a problem.
God dang.
We may have a problem.
No, I think that's a performance part, actually. I mean, the other one was worse.
Oh, the other one was worse.
But I don't think you're supposed to have ice in your motor.
Okay, so we got one side off, and it definitely got water in it, but it's definitely not nearly as bad as that one over there. So, who would have thought both $75 motors would have water in them? Weird.
It just have water in it. It blocked the ice.
It did have ice.
Like almost a full piston.
But at least, you know. Anyways, so we're gonna get the other half off and add to that. All the bolts are off, so Cole, why don't you go ahead and rip that bad boy off? No, right here.
Don't
Pry.
know what to do. Oh, ooh! Wow.
That one looks
Really surprised.
much better. Still has cross hatching.
Carbon buildup.
Gasket.
Okay.
Turns over already much better than a certain other motor that I know of.
Looking at you, fool. That's impressive.
That is pretty sick. This makes me very happy. Now we just gotta... Alright, we're good. Now we just gotta put a hog cam in.
Honk in, brother!
So much torque it twisted it off the chassis.
Yep.
Amen, brother. Yeah, honk. Alright, so we got all the valves taken, or the rockers off, and you know, all your rods and whatnot, all numbered. This one's alphabetical, and that one's alphabetical, the numbers and numbers. So hopefully when I put it back together, I won't forget about that. With the motor completely apart, has come to my realization that I can no longer go any longer without a engine stand. So we're headed to Harbor Freight to go pick one up, and we're taking CC, of course. So alright, we are off to Harbor Freight, the land of the free, the land of the cheap, and the land of the reliable.
Land of the horsepower.
In the car that is the cheap and the reliable.
And the horsepower.
Engine stand and compression test has been acquired. Well, after 4 Home Depot trips, a Harbor Freight trip, and staying in town for way longer than was necessary, now she's on a roller, or stand, if you will. $75 motor. I'm in this $150 so far.
And nothing to show for it.
And 2 motors to show for it. Anyways, so that's it for today, and I will pick up with you later. Cole went home. It's just me. So I've been messing with this just a little bit, and I'm trying to figure out what this guy is, which I will probably figure out tonight. I've been looking on the internets, and it's not telling me anything I need to know. And then there's one more right here, which I'm assuming has to do with some sort of valve timing, computer whatnots, because this is a 90s block. So it's got some of the doohickeys and whatnot from the 90s. So I've been working on that. I'm going to go check on CC and see if the motor in her is similar as far as electronic connections go. And then I will update you with that. Alright, so to be honest, I couldn't really figure out exactly what's going on with the motor in there, as far as there's like 2 electrical connectors, one on the head and one on the block. I might have figured out which one the one on the block goes. There is on the Caprice here, there's a purple wire right here that goes to a connection, which lines up roughly. I can't actually get in there enough to see what it is. Maybe if I do one of these, I can figure it out, but I doubt it. I doubt it. So that looks like it lines up about where the connection on the 880 that I can't figure out yet. So hopefully that's just like a crank sensor or something. I'm assuming so. I couldn't find anything online. So, and then there's one on the head. There's a connector on the head, which almost looks like it could be that guy. I'm not sure though. It could be different. But anyways, I'm gonna get some fuel for car and for me, and then we're gonna work on that motor just a little bit tonight before I go to bed. Just got back from the gas station with a little bit of fuel from the car and for me. Oh. Good stuff. Alright. Time to crack this drain plug off. Should sit. Should be mostly empty. A little bit. Teeniest little droppage. Honestly, I'm just gonna put that right back in. Now, we're gonna take these guys out carefully and put them somewhere safe. And then we're gonna rotate this motor over and go ahead and take off the oil pan and see what we're looking at. Because apparently this motor had a knock. So I'm kind of frightened a little bit, but we'll see what happens. So I got most of these out, but I just want to flex this sick little tool I got for free from somebody at a job I was working who didn't want them anymore. They are, after the oil gets cleaned off these, hang on a second. The oil gets cleaned off, take this guy, put him on there, wiggle back and forth. Loosen him up, maybe. Just send it through the freaking ceiling. There we go. Oh, that sucked. All right, now it's time to get this oil pan off. Once I do that, I'm just gonna kind of give it a good looks over, and then maybe I'll come back at it tomorrow. Probably tomorrow night, to be totally honest with you. But yeah, let me get this off and we'll see what happens. Alright, I got all the bolts off there. So now, in theory, this should be free. It is. The moment of truth here. I'm gonna need 2 hands. So those are separate. Understood. There's our oil pan. A little bit of milkshake in there, although there was ice in the motor, so that's not really surprising, to be honest. So here's she. Got oil pump. Looks like there's definitely some crud caught in the thing. Oh yeah. Bunch of junk. But overall, based on just the outside look, it looks fine. I mean, it turns over, so it's about what you would expect for a motor that can turn over. Making sure that's not anything alarming. Some caked on gasket material, it looks like. That's fine, I'm sure. There's no obvious cracks or anything from the ice. So I think, also, it's the other plug I was trying to figure out. Do that later. Now, typically, I forgot what I was saying. That is typical of me. Yep, there she blows. Alright, I got the oil pump off. It's actually in the box from the engine stand. Fits in there quite perfectly, I might add. And so now it's just loosening all these guys, getting the pistons out, and then I'm also putting all the nuts back on each stud and bolts back in each hole so that I don't lose them, because I have a horrible habit of losing every single nut and bolt that comes out of anything that I ever work on. So this is the end to that. Voila. This is not the first one I've taken out, but I've just been taking the plastic part of this and putting it in the piston and tapping this with a hammer. Works out pretty well for not damaging anything. So, not terrible. The bearings actually aren't in super bad condition, but this guy is a little dirty. Can't wait to get these on the cleaner. The other ones out of the 70s block, those ones, when I pulled them out of the cylinders, the piston rings literally just turned into powder, and some of them were broken in half already. But yeah, so basically, I'll show you what I've got so far. Couple pistons out, and then I'm putting them on this towel here. This is the orientation of the engine. Front of the motor is going that way, and then, you know, right, left, right, left, right, left. And so hopefully I can keep that just like that and continue to take it apart and it doesn't get messed up while I'm rebuilding it, and it just kind of stays exactly like that. And I can put it back together exactly how it came apart. I will be cleaning all those pistons, basically making them look almost brand new. So yeah, I got them all cracked loose, and then I'll update you when I have all of them out, or unless something really bad happens. So so old Joshua boy just found out excuse me. Old Joshua boy just found out the problem with this motor. So I have all the pistons taken out here, and you know, I have each bearing there lined up with each piston, and I just took that one out, the very last one, and I was like, huh, there seems to be 3. Like, ain't that neat? And then I looked a little closer and realized that this is not a carefully machined part. No. You misunderstand. No, what this is the... I wonder if I can just... That is that. This poor guy has been shaved clean. Let me grab that piece. Right here. You can actually put this poor chap back on there. And if there wasn't a thin layer of oil right there, it would fit perfect. And then there would be no edge. But yeah, that is the, there's your issue buster. But, you know, she spins over quite well, so I think that is probably the only bad part on it. Please don't hold me to that, because I really don't want to prove myself wrong in the next couple minutes here. But I'm going to stop there for tonight. I'm glad I did buy that motor, because it kind of showed me what I need to, how everything's supposed to come apart, so I could do it again, but much more careful on this one here. I didn't damage that one or anything, but, you know, the components were what they were. So, hopefully, I can get this to work. I have a lot of hope. That crank is definitely going to need to be addressed. I'm assuming I'm probably just going to need a new one with that much damage to it. So, yeah, I will deal with that, but this is another night down and another stage of stripping done. That is some thick gunk on that right there. My goodness. Alright, this balancer right here is not coming off, so I'm gonna give her the old what for. Let's see what happens. Give her a good old rotate here. Uh-oh. Oh, we're good. Voila! I win! I win! Woo! No, I told myself I wouldn't get dirty before work. However, on the cusp of a new success, I might have a hard time not doing that. Uh-oh. Is this not? What? Am I retarded? Don't answer that. Hang on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, 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 woo, woo. Now, okay, so that's off. I was fun with that last night. That was, whew, that drove me insane last night. Where is my freaking, so, I also cut my arm on the stinking flywheel last night. Right there. Trying to get these stupid bolts back here. There you go. These stupid bolts back here, they kept rounding off. Or trying to, at least. But I did not let them. Breathing and a little bit of WD. You know what I'm saying? And I got everything else right here. Motor's facing this way, everything's on this side, and everything's on this side. So in theory, this can sit here for a month while I buy new parts. But also, I'm probably going to steal the oil filter screw thingy out of that block, throw it in this one. That should be fine. I'm just so happy that finally came off. That was driving me crazy yesterday. Yeah, so that's where this is at. Alright, so we're taking a little break from our motor endeavors because a little package just showed up. Those should be the adapters to get the mags to work on the Caprice, or CC. Some Loctite. These are going to kind of pain to get out of here. There we go. Check them out. Oh yeah. And then there's another package that just showed up. Rock on. Now I believe this should be parts to a different car we have not met yet. So. Oh yeah, baby. Some tie rod ends for a different car, which you will meet at some point. Make sure I keep all that in there. Sweet. I'm gonna put these away, and then let's get the new shoes on CC. We'll see if I need to do any fender rolling or bumper trimming or whatever. she goes. Well, quickly got the wheel off. I have not tested this, so we get to find out together. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So that's gonna go in there. It's also a 1-inch spacer. So hopefully, I know the wheel is like just, it's a little bit bigger than that one and a lot wider. So I'm really hoping the rubbing is not terrible. But from previous experience, I'm going to go ahead and put Loctite on. You can see this clip here. So I was wondering why my truck seemed a little loose in the rear end. Yeah. That would be why. So basically that's why we're gonna have, we're gonna make sure we put some good Loctite on here. And so I don't have to relive that experience. I've got my brake depressor 3000. So let's go ahead and torque those wheel nuts down to just about right. Okay, so I'm glad that that's what broke and not the lug, but yeah, so there's one hiccup so far. Alright, there we are. One wheel on. I'll check for rubbing, but let me knock the other 4 out, and I'll update you when she's rolling. There she blows. Brand new wheels, tires. I think it looks pretty snazzy. The only problem is when you go over a bump on the rear here, it'll rub just barely. You can kind of see a little bit of that, but it's only when you hit bumps, and other than that, it should be good. So I am super happy with how it turned out. Looks like front tire might need some air, but other than that, I am stoked. And then there's gonna be a slow process on the motor for this thing. I don't know how long that's gonna take, to be honest. It'd be really cool if the YouTube thing started making money. That'd be awesome, and then I could just dump astronomical amount of money into this car. But either way, everything's all good, tidy. I did a test drive. It looks all good, drives all well. The other tires used to like skid out over like the slightest amount of like G-forces, whether it be braking, steering, or accelerating. Not that this thing is a burnout machine or anything like that, but it might be, maybe soon. So anyways, that's where that's at. So that's the end of this video, and I will make a new one when new parts come, and maybe you'll meet the other guy, the other project. We'll see.